Hi, it's Terri Gaines. I'm going to give you assembly tips on creating an Easter blessing card. I'm using a cross die from the Cross of Hope dies, along with a palm leaf die from the Tropical dies. The card base for this card is Whisper White, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to set that aside. The top layer of the card is a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to run this through a texture folder. This is the Stone 3D folder, which is a part of a celebration $100 free item, and it also comes with a stamp set called Hope Stamp Set. So I'm going to run this through the texture to create this beautiful texture. So I'll set that aside. The designer series paper for this project is 2.5 by 3.5. This gets layered to a early espresso cardstock that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to actually just put a strip of adhesive right down the middle and center it on this piece of cardstock here. Then I'm going to take this cross die and run this through the die machine to cut that out. And what happens there is the cross gets cut out and it's layered now with the designers or the cardstock to give it more stability. And this is an extra piece, and this is going to be layered on the card. So we're going to set that part aside. For the Granny Apple Green, it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I'm going to take this die and cut it out 3 times in the center. And then what I'll get is this piece, and we'll set that aside. Then I'll get these 3 palm leaves. I'm going to add some texture to those with a rubber band cluster and the Granny Apple Green ink pad. I'm going to just tap the rubber band cluster into the ink pad and then dab it on the ink pad and dab it on to this project to get some subtle color added to that. So I have a video. If you look in the comment section of this current video, there'll be a link to the video on how to create these rubber band clusters. Another piece we need for the assembly prep of this project is a scrap piece of cardstock, Whisper White, that we're going to run through a die machine with the largest oval stitch die. And then the last piece for the project is a strip of cardstock, stamping the Easter blessings with early espresso ink and turning it upside down, the classic label punch upside down, to center that image and punch that out. So we have all the prep work done for this card, and now we're going to assemble it. I find it best to start out with the top layer for your card and put your adhesive on that, and then attach that to the next layer down, which would be the Granny Apple Green. I'm going to watch opposite corners, and we got a smaller border than I usually have. Usually my border's 1/8 of an inch. Now it's a 1/16 of an inch on this project. And we cut those out of the middle because they're going to be sandwiched on the card. Nobody's going to know that we've even eliminated a portion of that cardstock. This is going to be layered onto the early espresso. And I'm watching opposite corners to get equal spacing, looking at the sides, and there we have that. Then I'll put adhesive on the back of this. This is going to be layered to the card front. Watch opposite corners. They've got a little bit bigger border here on this. So there we have that. Going to take adhesive and I'll put on the back of the scallop circle. Place that in the center. I'm going to take several dimensionals and put on the back of this cross. What I'm going to do is just put as many as I can. I probably should have prepped this ahead of time to save some video minutes, but what I'm going to do here is just put several dimensionals on this, and it's for 2 purposes. One, to hold it, to raise it for dimension, but it's also going to hold down those palm leaves. So I'm going to take all the backings off and attach 2 of the 3 palm leaves to the back of the cross. So I'm going to just turn this over And then I'm going to visually see how I want to attach these. I'm going to have one come off like so on that side, the other one like this. And then I have enough adhesive exposed yet that I can go and place it right down on my card and it will adhere fairly well. Now I'm going to take a mini glue dot, actually 2 of them, and just put them right next to each other towards the center kind of bottom and place that right like so on the card. I'm going to then take mini dimensionals, and I don't have my take your pick till close. I'm just going to grab a paper snips. I'm going to attach a mini dimensional, take the backing off, and then stack another one on top of that. I'm going to have these 2 stacked too high, and you always need to remember to take that backing paper off before you do your double stack. And then I'm going to, oops, you gotta take that backing off. Then I'm going to lay this across. So my mini glue dots that exposed there, I'm covering it up with the center like so. And that's the assembly of my Easter blessing card. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you found me via YouTube, look in the comments section for a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supply list, measurements, and instructions for this project. There'll be a PDF tutorial you can download. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click the red box under the video. My videos have bloopers, misspoken words, etc. But thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed creating this project with me.